Testing, sound? Oh, we have sound, huh? So, 1 second, I'm trying to fix my webcam. I will have a shorter webcam for this time, because the more space we have for the tier list, the better, right? Yeah, let me just reduce the size of the webcam. It's just too big. 3 to 6. 350. I guess this is good enough. But sadly, I don't know why my stream service is not working properly since quite some time, and I have to manually move my webcam all the time. Yeah, all the time. That's it. So we have some people here. Rest in Dev, Azolo, Carlos Alves, The Story of Board Games, Gia Jackson. Thank you all for being here. I will still have to move this webcam a little here. Just 1 second, guys. I was just having dinner. I had some bad days recently, but I'm better today. How are you all? Oh, I guess still not that good. Let me just remove the chat on the screen because it won't be so good here. We want the highest space on the stream. Well, I guess the webcam is pretty small, but it's what we need. Let me try to fix something here. Yes, I guess we have the perfect size. Sorry if it's too small, but the better the space we have, the better. So, also getting better, glad you're on come up. Thanks, Gia Jackson. Was wondering when you would put this out. Was a lot of problem recently. I think I said many times before, for those that are used to listening to my streams, I have some problems with anxiety, but not just that. I also have some perfectionism, and also there were too many people questioning the real value of the tier list. I guess it kind of affected me, so hence why it affected my ability to build a tier list. Exoduck, thank you so much for being a supporter as always. A rank 2 even. Thank you so much. Let me thank you properly here. If this stream is running the soundtrack, do you guys want a specific soundtrack? We have almost all soundtracks from SaGa games. I can run them on the background. Thanks so much for the help. Exoduck. So, one of the reasons why this was giving some trouble is just that we decided to make a tier list that was left to right. And it's just hell. Because the characters here, they perform different roles. Some of them are healers, some of them are tanks, some are damage dealers, some are supporters. And you cannot say that from left to right in a list with 300 characters, one is much better than the other. It's just too hard. So, Romancing Saga 1 music, let's start with that one then. Let's open Romancing Saga 1 inside the game. So then I decided to drop this idea altogether. This won't be a left to right tier list anymore. it will be a little more breakdown. We have more cheers now, and I'll discuss the cheers as well. I will make a full video explaining all the decisions behind on making this. Let me just go here for the soundtracks, just 1 second. I still believe that the best thing I do are the reviews. The tier list is more about checking up to see how the characters are performing after they were released. And on rerun banners, this makes more sense. Concert all, you said Romancing Saga 1 music. Do you have one that you like? You can tell me the name. Well, I didn't purchase all of the Saga from... No, Saga Frontier, no. She said Romancing Saga 1, right? We have Minstrel Song. There was one song that I didn't purchase, Ardent Rhythm. Is this a good one? I will need to listen. My god. Cable is... got stuck here. Okay. Let me listen to this. Ah, this is the intro song. I guess this one can give me a copyright. I know a lot of people like Prelude to Bloodshed. Many like Dart's theme. Is the sound okay? Is the volume too loud or not? So, I would just leave it here because I prefer to speak without using the headset. So, hello there, Capivara. Let me say hello to everyone. Carlos Alves says, make all El Bur Nikidayo chapter as a gift for me, please. I need to play that game again, my friend. Yet I didn't complete that chapter. Ascendant says doing good, thanks. Also, guys, if you wanna check this tier list, there's a link here on the stream where you can open it, check it for yourself, and I will explain a little better. Just let me answer everyone. Saint Kyo was asking what's the next winner. Any guesses? Well, no guesses. I believe that they may do a mage-related banner because of Volcano being on the current event. No, the past event. The Chocolate event had another banner with Volcano, and it didn't drop here on Global. They may release that banner, but I don't know. I think they are gonna give us a surprise. The maintenance is too far. They can wait for the maintenance, but, well, it may also be a surprise, some banner that is on different order. 2 AM, but share streams of previews. Thanks so much, Azolo. Doing good. Good afternoon, Merrick. Let me see who else said something here. Minstrel theme is nice. Minstrel. I'll always change to Minstrel in a few. Carlos, are you playing the Minstrel Song Remaster game? Do you have the redone version of the 4 Sinistrals? I don't know those songs by name yet, so you guys will have to point me out. Anything's fine as long as Minstrel Song. Howdy. Suno, Gamma Machi, thanks for joining. Maybe something more relaxing. Something more relaxing. What is something more relaxing? Minstrel Song? Let me hear this one. I believe relaxing music is better for... Yeah, this Minstrel Song is one of the best ones for this. Because you can chat while you just relax, right? My favorite version of the game is Podol. Ah, the Podol Christmas song. It's a very nice one. Victor says, good night to you all. Good time within 6 pools, says Azolo. Nice. It's always nice to get the characters that you want. Have a good night as well, Croman. Thank you all for joining. So let's get back to the topic here. Like I was saying, I had some problems, and I don't think it's bad to say this thing. Actually, it makes us more human. Say that I have bipolar disorder. I said this in the past. This gives me periods of depression and anxiety. It's usually anxiety, almost all the time. And when I have to do something that takes a lot of effort and you are not sure about what you're doing, because you can make flaws, you can commit mistakes. It's normal. It's a tier list. It's not fully objective. You will not always be right. And like I said, there was a time where someone was saying that my tier list was not that cool, and that they were making a new one, and then I received some free attacks by some people, and I do believe that in that point I started to ask myself if the tier list was still useful at all, and if my opinions were right or wrong, and then I think that somehow this got me. Then after that point, me and SaGa started to have discuss about some styles that we were not agreeing with, and we didn't have a lot of anxiety. We tried to avoid things that will increase that will leave you not feeling so well to do other stuff. So I have to admit I was avoiding the topic a little, because I was always trying to get back to it. I was building up a new tier list because of this criticism, trying to make a tier list where we had the damage dealers, the supporters, the single target damage dealers for one element, the multi attackers, and a lot of things, but it was just too time consuming. I started many different versions of a tier list that had like, I think 18 tabs. Imagine a tier list with 18 tabs. It will just kind of make it too confusing for many people as well. So I said to myself, what am I doing even? Would this actually help people around? Will I really need to do this? Imagining updating this as well. It's too much, even for me that wants to make the best thing. So I scratched many versions of this, and I said to myself, I will only update when I have this new version. But then I could not, because it was just giving me too much anxiety, and I could not make something that was objective and good enough. It's never good enough. So I took back some steps and said, let's make the best of what we can without getting to something too complicated that will exactly help people around. But like I said, I still believe that the best thing I do are the reviews, and the other videos where I explain the mechanics and formations and how you do content. So you should still follow that as the main thing. When I do a review, I try to be as much as close to the truth, but there's bias always. I cannot say there's no review without bias, right? And sometimes you check a style and you don't see the potential, but someone else can see. That's what happened with some styles in the past, like Robin Liz. I didn't see much potential on the character, but some people managed to do a lot of things with that Liz. I think also the part of the game where you kind of don't see one style replacing another, sometimes this clouds your opinions. So I'll try to do the best I can, but you still should consider mistakes will be done, right? So first of all, we removed the left to right thing. That was one of the worst things we actually planned. When we didn't have many styles, it was possible, because you had like, I don't know, 100 styles, but actually only 40 of them were really important in the game. Most of them were not that important. So you could define which was a little better than the other, and substantially or not. But actually, after we get like 300 styles, it started becoming pretty hard to measure. Also remember that they released many off-banner styles. There's a lot of things to consider now. So I said, let's drop this. We can create new tiers, like we can create separate things like we have here, SS plus, an SS, and SS minus. And I don't like this, actually. To be true, let me just fix this here by doing this. Yes. I really don't like this because I think it's, well, too close to each other, right? But something that you guys should also understand is that we as humans actually follow rules that have been established by other people. Like when I was checking tier lists in the internet about other gacha games, they always follow these rules because, well, there's a lot of problems with gacha games where people actually want to give a higher grade to a character because they spent money on that. They will always say, oh, but, well, this character's better than you think, Cher. This character's good. So when someone see a character like Null's daughter and say that that character is low tier, or say that that character is B tier, this is something that happened. It's an example. Other people will criticize it because they know that a character gives them enough value and that character should never be considered B. But the problem is not the grade system, because when you say a grade system like this, we could just say, well, this is God, like some tier list calls it. This is triple S. This is just S. This is 1S. This is A. Let's see. Is this right? Let's see. Triple S, double S, S. No, this is A now. Let me just say that this is A now. And now this is B. Let's say this is B. Someone will come in a live stream and say, sure, but you say that, I don't know, Taria is B tier, but she's the best petrifier. Actually, not the best one right now, but she was one of the best ones. And you're saying that she's B tier? You're wrong, man. I used her and she helped me clear the content. See, that is a problem that happens when you're making tier lists. Because people will not accept that a character that actually performs well is B. B is usually considered totally outclassed in gacha games. They say B, they consider a B tier a character that uses to have a B grade. Like, say that there are some gacha games that starts with D, then you have a C grade from the style or character itself. I'm not talking about the tier list. I'm saying about the grade that the character receives, the heritage, for example. So a character that has A heritage, that character already means that A is bad. You know, A is bad because there's A heritage and A is bad. So this mentality exists in all gacha games I played. They usually think that A is bad. So hence why we actually use this different grading system that does not make total sense. I agree. I don't like it. But what can I do instead of this? It's hard because there will always be complaints. People will carry their knowledge from older gacha games and say, well, no, Cher, you're wrong because this character works. What can I say? Also, another problem with gacha games like UniverSe is that the power creep is kinda, well, not so big. Here, the characters can still perform well. Look, we are using Rufus, and I still consider him to be a double S plus style. And he's here for almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. Rufus still dominates single target damage in many farming scenarios. But what can you say? Can you say that Rufus is a very low grade? I don't know. So this brings this type of problems. Some people wanted me to make a tier list for farming and the tier list for boss fights. And that will also duplicate all the styles that we have here. And in the end, there's not that much difference between that. I think that we should, as players, consider some types of characters higher than others because they can perform multiple loads or they cannot be replaced easily. The buffers types. And that's why I say that you don't skip buffers. I say that on my Discord channel. I try to say that on my reviews. You don't skip buffers because in this game you don't have many buffers and the buffing system is broken. The best strategy will always be buff if you can buff. If you cannot buff, then you can bring something. But usually you say to yourself, can I buff? Bring Matriarch, bring Null's Daughter, bring Time Now, bring someone else. But you always start your squad compositions in the game thinking about buffing because it's the best way to solve problems. Time can buff defensive and offensive status on the same time. That's what Matriarch does. And this class is the best one in the game. It doesn't matter much about the, hard challenges and farming scenarios because actually you can farm with anything in this game. You can farm with platinum styles if you want. What makes it different is that you won't be able to bring as many trainees as you can. But do you really need to train so many styles? Actually, you don't. Hardcore players like me and some others like to train many characters because of Remembrance. In Remembrance, you actually need to train. But do you need to keep them training all the time? Oh no! You should actually skip some training stages. Let's say that you got your characters to 2000 HP. Then you can bring some of them actually to training when you already have 100 more HP to farm. Because if you keep training all of your characters every time that the game increases cap by 10 or 20, you won't ever stop playing this game. Hardcore players know about that because they increase 10 points, 20 points, you go there and send all of your characters again, and they have different arrows, and then you have to bring the style that increases agility, then the style that increases intelligence, then the one that increases STR, and those things take time. So, in the end, after playing this game for so much time, I do believe that you can actually use one tier list only to just place it all, because me and SerGa, actually SerGa, it's his merit. We have all the information about the style details, that this actually explains why we are placing the character in that position as a value, general value, and that should be enough to explain something to people that want to get something from the tier list. But again, tier lists are not a tutorial how to play the game. They are here just for us to debate how useful a style is with the passing of time. So I said too much. Let me check what people were saying here. Saint Q was saying your tier list is great, man. Thanks. Also work from SaGa. The sentence says your tier list is helping me clear so much content and helping me make my box much better. Another good thing about the tier list is that you can look these characters that are placed higher and keep them trained better than the ones that are lower, because after some time people don't have the same amount of time as they had when they started playing the game. Many people play only on auto and they don't have time to check if the character's too good, if it's outclassed or not. So to keep some of them trained, it also helps, but it's not fully objective in everything. But I still believe it's good. A game has to have a tier list of sorts to show that the community is working on classifying different characters, and there's talk about them. It's important. When you go to a Reddit, for example, of a game and you don't see tier lists or people discussing a game, user-created content, you start asking yourself if there is a community still alive for the game. Let's see, Azul says, oh, so you are like me, depending on the phase you can easily get devastated. Exactly, kind of crazy how I see phases coming, but I cannot do much to stop them. Mines are always about anxiety, and I also have diabetes, and sometimes when I am not taking care of the diabetes too much, it's just so hard for me to work in some days, but I still try to do my best. And I'm not making excuses, just explaining things, because I don't care about, like I said, I actually think it's good to talk about, because people will sometimes recognize something about them on yourself, and we should talk more about, you know, issues, mental issues, personal issues. It's always better. Yeah, and in the current times, we actually just distance ourselves from each other more and more, so don't forget to discuss your problems with other people. So, Victor says, same as a sanity, your tier list has been a great help to optimize my grind and clear the hard content. Thanks, Victor. Merrick says, ignore the haters. We love you and your content always. We all make mistakes. No need to be hard on yourself. I agree that the reviews are best. Thanks, Merrick. And I try to follow that, what you're saying. It's just that even sometimes, because of the anxiety makes you think too much about something that is not even important anymore, but it just doesn't drop off your head, you know? Mike Lawton says you're doing a great job. The only thing I would disagree with is not putting the latest Rouge on 5S. Oh, no. We even have to discuss Rouge. We'll get to the discussion of the styles for in a minute. Then, let me see here. Try not to doubt yourself too much. You are a fantastic resource to this community, says Mumu. Thank you so much for saying that, Mumu. I actually know that I do something. Sometimes I contest the real value, but I know that I actually do something good. Andy Villa says, passing by the stream, currently on work, roast share everyone. He won't make the tier list good if you don't. Hey, Andy, I hope you can see what I'm saying, but thanks so much. Azul says, B is a good grade, to be honest. Yeah, it depends on how you take that approach. Then we have Sabin saying Matcha is God tier. I don't use the God, actually I use OP now, because I think this can be a little bad for some people. Yeah, I like tier lists from quick group formation, but your reviews are pretty great to know them in depth. Thanks, Azolo. Juice Mango says, in my tiny brain, it's tier lists and reviews to help out. All characters can be useful, someone just more universally helpful to make life easier. And that's the approach we do here. General value of a character. Let's see, you know it's all super hard because you do this just alone. When you look on FFBE, you have tons of dedicated sites so that you can do tier lists for each spec, like healers for dark visions, monoboss. Yes, indeed. Sometimes use websites that are easier to update, but it still takes a lot of time. Depends on the difficulty of the battle system as well, and how the power creep works. I think it's a little easier to make tier lists for FFB, for example, because the tier list, the power creep is on your face. You know that a character that's going to be released in 2 months from now will be 3 times stronger than the one released now. So it's not the same case with Rofus, like I said. We are still using the character 2 years later. Divide tier list by role attacker. It's exactly what I said that I was trying to do Sankyo, but I can't because it became a tier list of 18 tabs, because I also had to make a single target, multi-attackers, and the roles and everything. It's just too much to keep updating because Another thing, this game has like sometimes 20 styles per month. Sometimes we had more than that, but at least 20. Cher, I'm gonna be honest with you. You do a fantastic job and it's really in-depth. I have the same perfectionist problems, and why I'm jobless now because it's never good enough and I'm not doing as much. Yeah, it can hurt your development in companies as well, because they just see that you never finish a job that should be finished fast. You are always trying to make something that does not even need to be that perfect. It actually hurt me as well in the past. Then French now says, of course, the best is a resume of the unit with the boss, farm, inherit, and explanation, like a written review. The cons is that there are so much styles in the game, the tier lists are easier to read. Yeah, we can make a little better the style details that kind of explains what you're saying here about the inheritance is a little of a problem, because we cannot know how many styles of the same character someone has, so we kind of explain a little of this here. It's a quick view. We have the rsdsb.com, that is an amazing resource that without it we would not even exist. Such an amazing work from Rain Hafa. So actually not many people know, but we got in touch when he was developing that, and I did give him a lot of feedback, but it's all of his merit because he did it by himself. But I did give some feedback over the placements and what could be seen or not, but then everyone else from the community also gave him feedback on it launched. I think that this is important because we kind of resume the character a little. Maybe could have some more information, but it should be enough for most people. Let me see here. Still pleased with how well Mirza aged. Yeah, this is something that I want to discuss today. Placement of Mirza. Long live to the Unicorn Knights. I wanted to have Krillin, but I don't. Luckily, there will be a few high difficulty with shadow damage. You're talking about Rouge? We'll talk about Rouge in a few. I've been a good minority, but I have one good team built in the moment, and then I have been pulling for styles that are related to each other. In the story, lore, they are unique. It's nice to play like this. At least you can do this in this game. Hey, Ascendant, thanks so much for keeping a member. Let me thank you properly here. Thank you. Thank you. Ascendant. I didn't post that I'm live on SaGa Wiki or even on my generals. Let me just do it. Oops. Let me just type that we are live, discussing the tier list. It's not fully ready, we will still be discussing stuff. Okay, so let's get back here. I see just someone saying here on my Discord that Bertrand is still Triple S, and he's not actually. I think I moved him and then forgot to move him back. He's not anymore. Will Max Lies still is because of her utility as an agility buffer. But Bertrand cannot kill waves anymore. So he should be downgraded. Gianna is a matter of question. We don't know if she still deserves to be there, but let's just keep moving stuff here. Even Halloween Princess White Rose was a debate because she takes too much damage for current stunness of the game. And that's also why Gianna can still work, because she still has high protect tension. Let me see the comments here. Without your videos, I'm not sure if I would have gotten in this game as much as I did. Everything you do for the community is greatly appreciated. Thanks so much, Electrix. Thanks. It's very nice to hear these things, and I'm glad to help. Suno says this tier list in reviews are super helpful. Thank you, Suno. New Tomorrow says all the units I have are OP tiered. Those I don't are trash tiered. So you follow the reviews then, I hope. Christian Trapp is here. Once again, thank you so much for being a member. An early good morning from Germany. Good morning from Brazil. I mean, good evening from Brazil. Zadok says, leaving aside the fact that there should not be any farmers in Triple S, Bert and all Arthur are not even the best farmers anymore. I actually believe that Arthur should be the only one here. It's more about the idea that Arthur will work in almost anything, even if he's not the best one. While Bertrand is not the same thing. And Thanks, Doc. I saw your comment on Discord, but I didn't saw it here. I think the Arthur still deserves, but I agree with you on Bertrand. Anyone has a different opinion? What do you think? Bertrand can't kill waves anymore. He will need help. Can be many helpers, but he can't. Arthur still can. There are places where I can solo farm with Arthur. Well, there are other characters that can sometimes solo farm as well, like even Joe with the row attack. Forgot the one that gives critical damage to frogs, but these situations are pretty rare and they are not so common. But in my opinion, Arthur will work sometimes, and even when he can't, he still helps, you know, reducing the number of characters in a farming, even if he's slow. I believe that not everyone cares about the speed of the attack animations like the hardcore players do. Let me see the chat. How about a tier list using only the characters itself instead of each style? No, nothing, please, no. Don't give me more ideas about new stuff. It'll make them super confused, Kabi, because the pictures of them are just so confusing. Imagine this one here. Witch's daughter. It's a Hito with a mask of a cat. And then it's the same character as, well, Dahao. Where's Dahao? Dahao is there. I think Dahao is in minus. Dahao has nothing looking here. Dahao. To Witch's daughter. Robin, Liz, and so many other characters. I don't think this will help. It will be more for people that already know the characters. I was gonna ask you about Mirza Hap that I came out when Mirza. Hap that I came back when Mirza came out. Is it girl before you go mall? Before you go mall. This is Christmas, final present, and Capybara Answord. Yeah, Christmas, not summer. The sentence says, yeah, there was a lot of shadow damage related bosses, and I have been able to use Mirza to clear a lot of stuff because he negates shadow damage. That's the only reason why he's still here. And he's the only Silver Light user that remained. We demoted Leon to SS+, and we demoted Gerard to only SS, and I don't even remember where he is. But the fact is, we have to remember that side grades exist. If someone does not have Mirza, does not have Leon, does not have Rag Robin, then the best reliable AoE healer will be Gerard. No, actually, right now, you can use Mask and Time. Those two, in my opinion, are better than Gerard, are better than Leon. But, well, sometimes we may need two healers. Imagine that side grades still need some placement on the tier list. I cannot place Gerard, like, on B tier just because no one likes him. But everyone has Mirza, that's better than him. But we have to remember that some new players may just have one of them. Leon is that much better than MR Silver? Leon is. If you are in a fight that lasts for more than 8 turns, then Leon will always out-damage anyone in the game, and anyone. While, if the fight can finish in 8 turns, then Chooser and Silver will perform similarly. With the good thing that Chooser does not sacrifice LP, and he self-heals like a madman. So those two are the closest candidates of top damage after Leon. Then after that is, well, this guy still works pretty fine with damage and self-sustain, Darius. And I do believe we have a new contender. That guy is Kid Mikhail. Kid Mikhail has follow-up, a chase attack that he can actually use almost any turn, increasing his damage capabilities. But the passives that he has are not exactly that good for bossing, so, well, at least remember that Silver has high protect tension, Chooser has high protect tension as well, Leon has guard as well, he reduces damage, even Time has, but Mikhail doesn't. Mikhail doesn't. He has an evade, he has heal, but depending on the damage that can be inflicted on a turn, he will still die when compared to people with high protect tension. He can heal enough, but if the damage output is higher than 2000 in a turn, for example, without considering guard and defensive capabilities, he may just die. But yeah, he's stronger than most people think because of the chase attack, and if you know what you're doing, he will be chasing every single turn. That increases damage by a lot, but he does not self-scale, so there's that. Mirza and Metro are probably my favorite units in this game. Some of mine as well. Why is Genryu there? This is a Snowy Genryu, right? So Snowy is still a good replacement for some fights against Halloween Princess Rose. But yeah, these characters are getting old. Time put it all into misery actually, because time can buff endurance and will. But again, we go to the idea of side grades. Actually, in my opinion, he's a downgrade. He's not as good. Diana is also a contestant, but I can see myself using Diana if I need a revive. Many times I make squads that don't have a reviver, and that makes me die. You can still use, for example, Diana instead of time, even through time is better, because let's say you have either Silver or Chooser and they die. You can revive because Diana has a revive. Time doesn't. If someone dies, it's over. You have to restart the fight. So at least some characters you have something. Snowy has a very good will buff strategy, but I guess now we have so many because of time in Diana, so maybe he can be demoted. We can discuss that. Aqua Viper is the name of the attack, don't melee. Kazit says, just come back to play and found out that I don't have any double S tier. You should have, because we have so many. And tomorrow says, Goddess, Miran, and Genryu down to SS. You mean removing them from the SS Plus and the downgrading them? I actually think that the latest Goddess with Inheritance is pretty good. I used it for so many times. But she needs Inheritance. Without the Inheritance, she's not as good. Well, this is the Damage Dealer Goddess. The other Goddess should be somewhere here. Then something that SaGa will be doing, and after we finish deciding the placements, is that he will order them based on the weapon type. Like I said, this tier list will not be anymore about left to right. So we'll be placing it in the order of the weapon they wield. So we start with the game and sword, great sword, spear, I guess it's then axe, and going from there. Let me see here. No Tomorrow is saying that Snowy does not deserve to be here. Then I see more people saying Goddess, Miran, Genryu down. I don't think that the defensive Goddess should be down. That is something that I don't agree. Miran? I don't see Miran here. On SS Plus? No, we don't have Miran here. Genryu is another... Diana and Princess White Rose down to SS. Those two. Anyone else agree? Princess White Rose stays. Still need her extreme will buffing sometimes. Yeah, when your enemy attack multiple times, she's still the best one. Need a content that I can use my Christmas bulk on. Extremely share, right? Indeed. Ordering by weapon is a great idea. Yeah, because then people will understand that it's not a left-to-right system anymore. Did you say time replaced Goddess in a sense? No, I said that time replaced Diana and Genryu. In a sense, they clash. It's not that one replaces the another, but you cannot use both on full potential. Like, time has guard up medium, and Goddess has guard up small. So these clashes, you cannot stack these values. So if you're thinking about bringing time, you will not be able to use Goddess. This Goddess here that's on triple S to reduce her to SS minus, SS plus, could be. But anyone think that anyone here from the SS plus should be move it up? Because I can't see, because Goddess is not as useful now that time is here. But like I said, we can still use her if you don't have time. She will decrease damage by around almost 30% with Morale down and guard up. It will be, no, actually close to 25. Oh, it's 12%, then 15, but this value is actually multiplicative. She usually decreases damage by 25. I remember a time where we used Global Axe and Press and Guard users only to decrease damage by 20%. But if you have her AoE heal, then you can apply defense and attack boost for 3 turns, and that is still game changing. I used her in many cases where this proved to be a nice gimmick. Zadok says that he agrees that Liza needs to boot, but did someone else say about Liza? I don't see anyone saying about Liza. Ordering rep is great. Did you say time replaces goddess in a sense? Yeah, more about that. Are there any units that have AoE heal? AoE heal? You mean strong AoE heal? We have Ring of Life. Especially the best heal we have besides the OD mechanics or the full cyclers like Polka, Mirrors, and all of them, in my opinion, is Miss Surfing. I need to check where Miss Surfing is here. She is an SS+. This Miss Surfing here. Because she has Ring of Life 2 times and she can also heal with a sheep attack. But that's a very small heal, does not heal much, but at least she can still use Ring of Life 2 times. And in my opinion, the best traditional healer right now is Miss Surfing. Although she does not have a very good defense. Related question, but can Time run an agility hammer instead of STR? He sometimes has trouble going ahead of some characters and I don't see he needed a damage. You can. You can actually also use an endurance hammer. You will have an easier way crafting something for him. Actually, not crafting. It will come a day when you have a remembrance weapon for him, or you can just use an SS weapon. I was using an SS weapon. I token hammer and it was pretty good. Because it gives him endurance. But I don't remember if there's any real big increase in agility. Maybe you just give him agility equipment instead. I don't know if just the weapon itself will help so much. Do like to be tanky, you said. What could be a good generalist team? I know a specialist team is always better, but I tend to have one that is Mirrors and Network 4, Leon, Rag Robin, Final Press. Right now, I believe the best generalist team is a mix of Matriarch 4, Rag Robin, Time, Leon, and a support number 5. If you are not using Leon, then you should be using Silver or Chuzzer. And then after that, you have the last support unit that can be, well, usually Global X Press with Inheritance of the Christmas Shield. That will decrease damage by a lot. Or you can bring Namal's Daughter. It's not always that I prefer Namal's Daughter, depends. I sometimes prefer to just bring, like I said, what was I saying? Global X Press. You can also bring secondary healer, but now that you have time, you don't really need that. But I use it as spare girl for quite some time. So those cards work. Before Time, Goddess was one of my options. I was using Goddess in plenty of content. Let me see. Still use Destructive Blow, but he's showing his age. Yeah, he's not even on tops anymore. He's here on SS Plus just because of versatility. Matcha is a healer, but I don't think Matcha is better than Miss Surfing. Because she did not get that strong AoE heal. Related question, okay, I read that. Solid made a good point on the Discord. Gustav's rating seems high for someone that hasn't been out for a while and never really seen use. Well, he may not be using Gustav. I did use him at least 3 times now. Using him against Death and against at least 2 other bosses. I may have some bad memory. But the thing is, Gustav is the best magical tank for the team. It depends on the content, so how can we predict content? How can we know if they will release a boss that only uses magical attacks tomorrow, the next event? So sometimes we lose the idea of a character being good because the content does not showcase the character's capabilities. But still, he's the best magical tank and won't be contested till we get another one that is Tsubaki, and it's still a little far from that happening. So when he was released, he was a triple S, but then it depends on the content. That is subjective, kind of hard to discuss. Maybe Assault's triple S, probably the best cleanser. Her potential now is contested by the Global X Rouge. Global X Rouge also has high protect tension, has a lot of BP generation, and can inherit Dark Wash. So she's not exactly better than Rouge now. They are actually very close to each other. Match and Asylus move up. Asylus? You mean the New Year Asylus? Why do you guys think Match is so good now? We have some healers here. We have Mask. We have to consider the Great Adventure Inheritance. It will be added later. We have Time. We still have Mirza. We have 3 healers here on the triple S. We can actually add the... You said, who? Matcha. It's just that I don't think she heals enough compared to those. Maybe. Matcha has a 2-turn cycle to heal 2 times. On average, she heals almost the same as Mirza. But with the problem of having the heal spread it out, I guess. But she does have high protect tension, this helps her a lot. The only reason for Mirza being there was the shadow immunity, but I even still contest that. List looks good, says JPrek. Rouge has a lot of elemental coverage too. Where did you put Global X Rufus? I think he's only SS. Do you see him here? I will leave it here and you can tell me if you see him here. But you know that I'm not exactly a big fan, because I don't think that the values of the buffs that he applies are good enough to justify him on squad comps. You should not see him going further unless you're talking about Remembrance, and then even on Remembrance now we have plenty of options. I think slotting his equips could help him too, says a Senate user. I think you're talking about time. Like how Mama has her own overpowered. Yes, well, I still believe that Polka deserves to be there as well. Leon and Global X Empress, with all inheritances, we'll be adding an I to Empress as well. Empress with the shield from the Christmas style. She gets 20 plus 25, meaning 45. Scroomguard from Gustav plus 35 magical shield gets into 20 plus 35. That's bigger than Empress, but the case is that most bosses are hybrid. I don't know why they go with this, but yeah, I guess they do that so that you cannot bring multiply the buffers of the same attribute. But when Gustav works, he's better than Empress. But the boss has to be fully magical or 80% magical at least. Lucy, thanks for the chip, sure. I use him against any boss that has magical damage. It lets me do more damage while tanking more magical. Exactly what the sentence says. Better than just buffing Will. Big Mach is fine where she is. She lacks healing and does not bring what some of the other healers are populating the triple S. Such as his 4S attack animation overpowered here. It's a full animation. Remembers, I don't know, hero animations from animes. Merrick says, how accurate is the JP wiki? I sometimes check it for unreleased styles. In your reviews, there seems to be a lot of changes sometimes between global release and JP. Forget about JP tier lists. Like, 90% of the styles are changing in global. 90%. So, like in JP, they have an inferior Arthur, they have an inferior I token, they don't have Global X Silver, they have a very inferior Joe, they have an inferior Null's Daughter. Well, all of these styles that are here are different on JP. They may not even be placed here if it was there. So, looking on that is just about expectations. If you want to check what is happening on JP, to maybe save, what is good can become better. At least that you know. What is bad can become good, but what is good can become even better. Well, you didn't find him. You didn't find Rufus, so maybe he's lower. Maybe he's lower. I'm not finding him here. I'm sure he's not S. So let's go back to the tops. Anyone disagrees with the highest one, the OP one? Anyone disagrees with displacements here? Again, it's not left to right. It does not matter the order. Anyone disagrees with any of these styles if they should not be here? Should not look toward JP tier list. What you should do is use the JP wiki to see future styles. Yeah, now our SaGa website is just an amazing resource and I use it every day. In my opinion, that's the best resource from JP because it's like a database and there's information that the game does not say, so it helps a lot. Still give more value for him for having the same passives as the Ana and the heals, but he's I still believe that your love for Rufus is favoritism. anyone here uses Rofas and can think about using him instead of the triple S tier characters of support, I think the values of his buffs are pretty low, and Goddess totally replaces him. Makes he even look worse if you have the inheritance. No SS minus, what a travesty. Haha. Rufus SS bottom row. Here, he's SS, and it's not even SS minus, so you should not be that mad about it. I think Token can still go up to OP. I think his versatility is buffing his key. I don't think that he's that important anymore. I barely use the guy these days. He's a fully offensive buffer. If I think I can kill a boss in 6 turns, for example, I can bring Token. But usually you don't. You don't kill bosses in 6 turns anymore. So what you do? You bring buffers that are defensive. Token also cannot buff all the time. And sometimes you already have enough. You try to bring someone to help you against status ailments and stuff. The top looks fine. Besides Lieutenant, anyone says anything else? Merrick says thank you for the advice, hoping that the newest mirrors and GP gets even better in Glow. It will. Token time has passed a bit. Yeah, I still think he's good enough to be on the triple S, especially since buffers are there. And they still have a lot of value. But the Token's case is more that most bosses cannot be cleared in 6 turns or 7 turns, and for very long fights you prefer to be more defensive than fully offensive. More damage won't save you. Nito says, skip it Matriarch 5. Is she really that OP? From the previous versions is much better. And that comes, you should watch my review, because it really does not help keep repeating the same thing. Many people asked me this question many times, and I have to explain it again. Matriarch 4 is the best character because he has access to the shield, and we know that the shield is overpowered. But when you're not using buffs, when you decide to use the shield, you are not buffing in that turn. And sometimes it's enough to make your Leon miss. Sometimes it's enough to make the enemy inflict ailments on you on the next turn. So just because the Matriarch number 4 has a shield does not mean you need to use, does not mean it's part of the gameplay all the time. So Matriarch 5 is better than Matriarch 4 if you ignore the shield. She has a higher agility, she has a similar status, she has a little extra resistance. So yeah, they are very similar, and those that ignore this fact, in my opinion, are wrong. Because even through one is better in most scenarios, there are many, and I say many fights where I didn't use the shield. So here and there the shield makes difference, but it's not always. So you should consider scenarios where you will only be buffing, and if you are only buffing, then this Matriarch number 5 is better. Is it worth summoning for Matriarch 5 if you have Matriarch 4? In my opinion, no, but that's a different question. We are evaluating the value of a character by itself. Now, if you already have Matriarch 4, it's not a big upgrade. Everyone that has Matriarch 4 and Matriarch 5 will clear the same content, the same, even if one needs a little more retry than the other one. I will bump Rouge triple S, but that's just me. No, Momo, it's too much. No, he's not so reliable to be there. Seems like you are a fan of the character. Cygnus says, Mama 5 is a stun machine for farming. Mama 5? You mean Mama 6, right? Mama 6. Hello, Neoflux. Howdy. How are you, my friend? We don't have news inside the game, but we are discussing tier lists. I know you're not exactly a fan, but sit there. If you enjoy the chat, at least we can. So, the characters that people have some problems here, let me just take them. Like, I barely use Mariah anyway. I barely use Mariah, but I still see potential in her. I just think that moving to a point where Mariah became unreliable, and I don't really like too much unreliable strategies, and that I don't use her. But I know that if I bring her to a fight where the enemy attacks multiple times, she's gonna rock. But, well, I don't use her as much. So people had some problems with the placements of Genryu, Global X Liza, Gustave, I know some people had discussions about Princess Rose. Not everyone agrees about Mirza. And I'm not so sure about Gianna anymore, although I believe she still may be thing, since, you know, she revives. So I can place her here. I don't know if she deserves to be replaced. But let's say there's 5 units here. Let's focus on these 5 units. Do you guys think some of them needs to be moved up? Move it down? The Shining Glory metrics to use, I only use this skill for occasional farming. The thing here is that, Neil, when we discussed that, let's say you don't have Matriarch 5 or Matriarch 4, then the next best Matriarch is this one. It's just that, you know, any Matriarch using PN of Peace or PN of Victory is still overpowered and broken. It's more about that as a side grade, but people can move her down. That's the only reason why she's here. Because if I don't know why you don't have Matriarch 4 and 5, she still works even though you need resets. Shining Glory is a very nice skill as well, because she can buff all the status with Victory or Peace and still be capable of healing with Glory, while even Matriarch 5 cannot heal. Using Mariah over Mask for tanking Dark Global X event back in December. I saw some people using. Ali says, why Mama, once you got tier, she just used it for inheritance, not the unit itself? Because we don't have inheritance tier. So having this style is still overpowered. That is the reason behind. Imagine dropping Matriarch from the tops, people will not understand her usefulness. Let me see. I feel like Gustav still can be triple S. People are just not seeing his potential of other units, like Rufus. Yeah, I guess the case with Gustav is more about the content. If we see more magical bosses, then like I said, he replaces Impress, and that is impressive. Sorry about the joke, but that's true. I guess it's more about the content that we have. I still believe Global X Liza deserves to be here. Why? Her damage is pretty high. People forget about that because they don't want to use her because of PN of Peace. PN of Peace makes Global X Liza look bad because it does not buff the status that she uses for damage. But right now, I guess that we are finally on a moment where we can use PN of Victory with your Empress if you want. Go with PN of Victory, and then use time to buff Endurance and Will, and Love and Charisma. It won't be on the same levels, but depending on the situations it can be good. Remember that if your boss uses physical attacks, you need to increase Endurance. In that moment where you are buffing with PN of Victory, you are also buffing STR and Agility. Then it makes sense to use Liza. And many people still use, I see posts on Reddit and on Discord of people clearing content with this Global X Liza. I don't see why the hate. She buffs the party as well. I mean, she's always buffing her status with each attack. She gets stronger with time, and she has a lot of defense. She has how much again? Minus 25 and then minus 20 if you charge her passive 2 times. She's the best martial artist for Remembrance as well. Leon or Death? You agree with Goose? Spot. Zadok says Leon or Death. What do you mean Leon or Death? Ah, about the strategy. So you either use Leon or you die or nothing else. Yeah, some people just forget about the other damage dealers just because Leon is overpowered. But remember that Leon is on the highest tier. We're not talking about placing Liza right beside Leon. She's down, just like Silver and Choser are as well. Choser and Silver are substantially better than Liza in any scenario, but I don't think that she is just that far. I mean, I still see she has a good potential. It depends. What do you guys think? New Flux says, I do feel like Christmas Final Press is the better one for most situations. Granted, she keeps up on Scrum Guard, but has a lot more utility. Yeah, I think that the case with Global X Empress will always be that she is unique with her shield, And we will add the eye on this Global Accent Press. That's how I'm using her now. I use the Global Accent Press with inheritance of the 3rd skill from the Christmas. So she has Scrum Guard plus a 25% shield. That is very strong and useful. And everybody uses very many bosses like that. Other people I saw here on the chat saying the same thing. But I can see the potential of bringing Christmas Empress as she is. But she does not have defense capabilities. She does not have high protection. So the shield is applied to herself to make her sustainable. Much different than Empress. So, if you can take more damage, and if you only need 25% damage reduction, she works. But I do believe that Empress is here as a generalist, because she can decrease damage by a lot, will work in all scenarios, does not need to be magical or physical, and still has the negation shield. That is unique. Mumu says that still uses Global Axe, Glyza. People like to call her Glyza. J Prax says, I can tell you put a lot of thought into this revised list. Cannot say I disagree with anything. But if you do have something to say, please. I was talking about these 5 characters here, that they are the ones that are contested from most people. I do believe that White Rose can still live a little, because now we can decrease damage by a lot by use of other characters. So even though she doesn't have a damage reduction, we can even use her now on real-world formation, placing her on the front. It makes total sense because she needs to be attacked. We don't even need Tiger's Den anymore. So I believe that because of so many wheel stacking, she is important. Golden Ball was always considered inferior because buffing wheel was always better than buffing end. Although she has the guard shield as well. But guys, does anyone disagree about Princess White Rose being here on the top? Because we can discuss that. Even when hitting neutral, she hurts a lot. I agree. Christian Trap says, I started 2 months ago, but I can agree that Silver's really kicking butts. Indeed, and she does not need inheritance or anything, you just use her as she is, and pretty defensive, strong character. I think on the top DPS is too blunt to heavy for Liza to be there. Cold doesn't really cut it either. But remember that what I said is that she's also a buffer. She's the best martial arts buffer after Matriarch, for example. If you are using a rapid stream formation, you will always bring in Liza, because she will be buffing agility. She's the second best agility buffer, actually tied with the best agility buffer after Matriarch with ScherBR, and she deals much more damage than ScherBR. But I see Zadok opinion. Anyone else? Because we have to have more people thinking the same to say. I agree with J-Prac, I am biased because of favoritism, but I cannot really say I disagree objectively. I see good evening, Tipu, and thanks for passing. I think a lot of people who struggle with more tower and tower-related content saw her value as a unit. J-Prac says, well, since you insist, I say we need Thomas in OP tier, and that's not because I like him to blast me with luck again. I see. French Tao says, I really like Chooser, he's really strong, I don't really like to use Leon, not because of power, but because he's too slow to start, and some attack stealing LP are annoying for him. Exactly, French Tao, and then also why the battle with Egg was just so painful, because you had to restart if you got killed. Chooser will make the battle with Egg much easier, and Chooser will also hit for the weaknesses of the boss all the time. I guess I'm biased, I'm only using Peon of Peace. Say, you only use Peon of Peace. I don't only use Peon of Peace, I use that Peon of Victory many times. Especially now I'm using more to use Silver. Yes. But do you use Peon of Peace even when the enemy uses physical attacks? Today, Doc. She still has a value as tanking magic, dog boosting will. Indeed, that's in it. I think every one of the Triple S can stay there where they are, or even Genryu, but they do need inheritance. Genryu doesn't have inheritance. Liza does not need. So the question was about Genryu. I see people still using him, I don't use him anymore. But it's more because I have all the options. I have all the alternatives. But the tier list needs to talk about side grades, and for people that don't have them all, is Genryu still a character that can clear content just like the other, even if you need to restart a film. Lies great, her spot's well deserved. I think everyone... okay, when I said they, I mean only Genryu. You mean the heal from Genryu? Neoflux says the only other style I think does not belong is honestly Arthur. He cannot clear waves around anymore most of the time. Look on the guy, he's ultimately just a farmer. He actually works well on Remembrance. I used him for damage. He's better than you think because, well, he buffs his STR before he attacks and he stacks. And he does have strong attacks. I don't think that he's the best slash damage dealer. I would not even say that, but I think that if you get Remembrance next week, I'll use him on this word because I don't have many stacking damage dealers. But the fact about Arthur staying here was more about that he still can solo farm here and there, more about the hardcore players with maximum weapons, but most of the time he still removes one person from farming. Like, even if you cannot solo farm, you can duo farming where you could sometimes only use 3 characters. He will always reduce that to at least 2. I don't think anyone else can guarantee that. Not even Rufus can guarantee that anymore because many other characters are getting there. Like Khan, I don't even know where Khan is. He should be on SS+. Not seeing where Khan is. If he's not... oh, here. Khan is doing the same damage as Gustav, for example, and sometimes doing same as Rufus or close to. Even Darkid, the newest Darkid. So... well, Darkid wouldn't do as much as Rufus, but it depends. If the enemy is only weak to one of the attacks, well, Rufus is not uncontested anymore. Although, since Arthur covers actually 3 elements, he usually makes me duo some setups that we need 3 characters. That's the only reason why I think that he was the only one on the tops. But do anyone else who believes that also agrees with Neoflux saying? Because he's not the first one. I think Zadok also said that Arthur needs to be demoted. I think that if we move Arthur now, it's... I don't know. What do you guys think? I've used Leonard and Sparrow a lot more often than Arthur for farming. Recently, right? Recently, because they are trying to sell these characters. They released a Leonard, they needed to release an event where he shines. And then the next story mode allowed Leonard to solo farm. They made stages like that. But then I remember that, which character we had that was super good on farming but didn't work recently? They make it not so good anymore. Who was it? Well, I do believe that Sparrow will always work. Barely pull for farmer, use Arthur, it's pretty simple. Yeah, I do believe it's pretty simple. That is the thing. I remember that there was one character... didn't happen right now, but I think there was... it can be an update to the main story where Waterfall Blade users cannot solo anymore. We are using them everywhere. And we always have a stage where you can solo with Waterfall Blade. Then the next main story update, they removed that. Just like they did with Alosis and Bertrand, they are similar characters as well. They can't solo anymore. Not even close. Rick could never solo. He was more of a strong opener. That was the best opener actually for quite some time. Arthur's case is hard for me to say. I strongly believe that he still is the only farmer needed, but I maybe bias it as well. I don't like farming with him, but I just see his value as a general character. What else people think? Sparrow is instantly clutch. I think Bertrand will be good again when Enya arrives. But Enya is always adding one more character to the training. You're talking about triple Abaddon Hands. He can't solo with Abaddon Hands anymore. I still think Infinite Trajectory Plus follow-up Dune still does very well. It's still the strongest turn 1 damage now. Sometimes he's the only character capable of soloing one wave. I guess that's another selling point. Even though he cannot solo farm all the time, he can sometimes kill the first wave when no one else can. No one else. neutral damage. Archer is always so used to slash and blunt on every wave. Just in I have 108%. Sword of Hidden works like charm. So Arikun says that. Yeah. But what about the SS Plus list, guys? Do you think any of these styles deserve to be moved up? Just to talk about why we move it down. Bune, for example, she was a unit that worked quite some time because agility buffing strategies were good for evasion. We don't use those strategies as much as before. We hardly use them, to be honest. And even when we do, we don't really need Bune. There's plenty of agility buffers. There's many buffers that we can go just buffing without debuffing. And now even Dexterity debuffs are contested because we have that Bokon. I don't even know if Bokon is here. No, he's not, because he's actually not that widely useful, but he's at best Dexterity buffer, for example. So Beauty got demoted. The same thing will happen with Rufus because he's not so important anymore. He barely changes anything. Sometimes yes, but mostly no. Another character that we demoted. Who was it? Oh, Rick we demoted because Rick and also Loot are just too similar. They impact turn 1 damage, but then after that they are not so useful. Well, Saruin is here, but he will probably be demoted soon. Do you guys think he should be demoted now or not? Leonard was moved to SS Plus because he can solo farm. If there's a stage with enemies aligned in a row, he's going to solo farm. A surprise Beauty is not triple S, but I agree she's SS Plus. Yeah, it was because of the utility and contestant. Many characters are now doing what she does, and even then. Also, guys, I hate to say that, and I just do it because I need. The channel is in danger. I know I was not so helpful this month. I didn't make as much videos, but we are not meeting the goals anymore, and this is turning the income and even taking some loans to pay some stuff. And if anyone wants and can help, all help will be appreciated to keep the channel running. January and February were bad months because there was much less to talk about the game. There was less content, so I lost revenue because of that as well. So just saying that, if anyone wants to help the channel, with the help will be greatly appreciated, but only if you can and if it won't affect any for incoming. So let me check here. Merrick says, good luck with the tier list review. Will always be your best job. Gotta go. Good night. Good night, Merrick. Hope to see you soon. Once we finish getting a look on all of this, SaGa will help me with the final revisions and to place the characters in the weapon types. Because actually this is a temporary shit. This is not the real one. The real one is not changing. We have to finish the changes to move. Right? Saturn is just waiting for overpowered tier next style anyway. Yeah. I think that Saturn is only here because, you know, the current best farming is to bring 2 strong AoE attacks that, you know, sometimes you just bring row. If you have, like, not everyone will have this Leonard, for example. So when you don't have a specialist, you bring the best next thing. Like, Saturn still attacks 2 times with 8 power. So he replaces the row or column attackers if you don't have them. I think Beauty has very strong damage, but Slash is highly covered, so that the competition is hard. But honestly, Misty can be better, and she can be worse. Misty is all about RNG indeed. Is Misty here? I know people like her more than I do even. Where is Misty? Misty needs to be on SS Plus. Oh, she is here. So, pretty okay. Do you think anyone else needs to be moved up or moved down from SS Plus? Like, I know that Nawal's daughter is not that defensive anymore, but she's still a buffer. And she still works if you place her on defensive formation. And we'll also check the Discord channel while I wait for replies. Let me see if anyone said something. I have not been impressed with Goddess' performance other than her being very tanky. Her S3 misses a lot for me, and only the part of the effect. You are right, Solid Snake. She was missing. I even needed to give her plus 16 agility to reduce the chances of evading from the enemies. I don't know why, but only on very hard, very hard challenge like egg or stuff like that. Global X events. You are right. God's Leon says, good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you? Dalok says, I'm sure Goddess and Gustav work. I just have found situations to replace the standard Leon teammates. But the thing about Goddess is that gimmick where she gives also defense up and attack up. You may be underestimating Snowy and Lies and utility, people. I think I saw Handsome Rich on H here. He really needs a strong weapon, Solid. Rich is SS+. Zadok, do you don't agree? Doesn't like jokes. There is Triple S, I have him, but I don't know. This was actually discussed by me and SerGa about Darius, but because he is a very strong character and self-sustainable. He can solo some stuff now. I'm not talking about easy thing. He's too defensive. He is unique. He's a very strong shadow damage dealer and slash, although on slash he has competition. Also, Sin, thank you so much for joining. Tepuin, PayPal should always be better. What's on the best way to spend your money? Yeah, no, Super Chat, no. Super Chat can make me lose between 30 to 60% of the money. I said this multiple times, but I'm gonna say it again. When you make a donation via Super Chat, I lose 30%. If you make it and you are a US citizen, I lose 60%. So if you are donating $100, I'm only getting 40. That's right. I would consider demoting Azami and Torrent or Pina. Torrent or Pina was something that SerGa requested because he said that she still works even if you don't have any, like the Global X or Pina. And the Global X or Pina is more about single target, right? The inheritance is a secondary role. About Global X Azami, I don't have her. I was thinking about this. I was questioning myself about Urpina with SerGa. So, yeah. I don't have her. Is she doing too much damage for you guys? This is not Taco is here. Welcome, Taco. How are you? Mug Plant should be moved up to OP. One day, I'm waiting for April. I really want 1st of April to reach because I have some cool ideas for Discord and for the channel. So welcome. Think Silver deserves to be top tier. God's Leon, you think that Silver needs to be among Leon and Reg Robin? Do you really think? Because OP should be like a special type of tier just to show how Matchwork is busted, and some of few others are as well. I don't see Silver being too much better than Schuster, for example, so that brings me some questions. So I think you have a point, New Flux, about this Urpina. I'm not entirely sure. Everyone else thinks that she should be demoted. Noel is an amazing damage dealer, but he can sustain himself. But again, you mean Christmas Noel? Christmas Noel. I use him because it was the start of the row attacks, and I didn't have anything better, but he can solo. He can finish a waves. Wait, did God change to OP? Yeah, I did change God to OP because I don't want to use a word that can be hurtful to some religions or faiths, so I did prefer to change. It's better. It makes no much difference, so why not? Torrent or Pina, in my opinion, lacks the tankiness compared to the current styles. It lacks and rotations as well. Although there's something that only the Torrent or Pina can do, is to Torrent while weird stance, Torrent while weird stance. But this was outclassed by the Global X or Pina, better usage off, countering 3 times at least and getting an off BP by hits. She does not need to stop, she just keeps countering like a mad girl. And she's much better, in my opinion. So I see many people saying demoting this girl. I said to SerGa that even through Torrent or Pina is cool and all, counter strategies are not needed anymore. If you can bring counter, you can bring something else. There were content like Word Tower, where you could not survive back then without Urpina or Fornews because the damage from the enemies were just too high that you would never survive. Now you can. You can choose how to survive because you can heal enough, you can bring shields, status, and everything. So there's no need of a counter strategy. I mean, need. You can use, because it's fun. But tell me, the last time you used a counter strategy, did you really need to? Was it the only way to clear the stage? Tell me. Some is just constantly disappointing. Most people said that she disappoints, and I do believe that the damage dealers that are here are much stronger than her. I'll remove her, and if anyone disagrees, just tell me. Oh my god, it's just... I didn't expect a live stream today. Hello everyone, and happy finally tier list update. Thanks so much for passing, Leonardo. Happy tier list update. I think Mariah is near OP. She has... Oh, no. No, OP, no. Triple S is good enough for her, since we can compare her support with some others. Moving Mariah to Metro tiers is a problem. The reason why we created the OP tier is because some of the people that complained about the tier list said, I can't take his job for granted because he places Nalmal's daughter together with Leon and Metro. Or he places Rufus in the same grade as Metro. So now we have a grade where the OP units are there, and we don't want anyone that's not near OP. Just to separate. Triple S Rouge. I don't think he deserves Triple S, my friend. Anyone here... It's not the first time I'm seeing this. But SaGa even contested. He wanted Rouge to be only double S. But I said, no, his damage is good. You may not need him. He's pretty unique. He's not reliable, of course. But, well, he does add into squad compositions. He is good. But Triple S, I don't think so. And some people were asking Asilus to be moved up. Yeah. Let me place these unique characters that people are discussing here, close to each other. Do we have any other one that people think that should be moved up? I don't believe Asilus need... those two characters contest themselves for the best buff breaker in the game. Rouge and Asilus have the same capabilities. They both have high protect tension. Rouge is a little worse because he uses shadow damage, and shadow damage is not that good anymore. I mean, it never was. Oh, my friend, you Flux, thank you so much for the help. Sorry I can donate more right now. I'm a bit of a financial... But man, you should never say something like that. Even if you donated $1, man, it will always help, and you know you have a special place on this channel. Thank you so much. You didn't need to do that, so don't worry, my friend. I hope you can surpass the situation, and don't worry. You have always been helpful in any way you could. And I'm happy that you got lucky with the recent pulls. So that saved you a little, right? I was also happy that I didn't lose too much recent banners. I got what I wanted without having to pity. So Jai does not know anything about the damage of the units because he never uses his gold pieces. Indeed, he never uses it on max potential. I got my Rouge to plus 16 dex to train him, and he was not missing his normal attack. But I know we have to see on newest content. But I was having a lot of fun. But I cannot say that, well, he is just as OP as the other ones. But I could say that his value could be compared to Global X Liza in a way. Although he's more unique. No, Rufus or Queens. Xavier said, in terms of counters, doesn't Mayo hold a special place there? Not that he works especially for boss levels. Well, I do believe that Human Mail is not even about the damage. Human Mail is about the taunt with a very big sustain. I think that's how people use him, as a taunt tanker. Yeah, I just hope this will be hard event soon, so to use all these new styles. Yup. Let's use Rouge to have fun, my friend. Now our Rufus are queens, so abrasive as a person. I will literally insult their intellect and ability to understand context. I mean, it's not that they are wrong, totally. I made this change because I saw that part of the criticism was fair. I mean, even if I didn't agree, it's fair. Fair business. So I think that in order to avoid this confusion, let's fix this. Oh, my two cats are fighting. This time it was Jujubinha and Pretinha. Okay, then SS Plus is still a good spot for him. You mean Rouge? Or Human Mail? Ah, Human Mail is a pretty big spot here, huh? The only platinum units to be so high. And Cordelia. Cordelia is pretty powerful. She can't solo like Sparrow, but man, her damage is big. As long as Rag Robin is an OP tier, I'm happy, almost as elated to pull for him, but man, he's indeed OP. He is. How much are you playing this game? It's fair, yes. Hey, Cher, can you check if you got the money I sent you on PayPal? Sure, I can. Let me check. Surely I did. Thanks so much, my friend. Let me update the goal because you did directly via PayPal. It does not show on the screen. And let me also type here. Thank you so much for your generosity. All the donation keeps the channel running. Thanks so much. Ascendant. Let me show you some virtual hugs. Let me update the goal as well. Right, just did it. It's just 20, you saving me more money with the correct reviews, then I see it's a fair investment. Guys, just one sec. Oh, I'm here, back. Sorry for the time, and thanks again, Ascendant Alder, for the help, my friend. So where were we? About Ancelus and Rouge. So the thing is, because they work like, let's say something here. Rouge, Ancelus, and also Red Mage they are all good for buff break, for example. This is their best setup now, and something that we use in boss fights. We don't use it all the time. I don't know where Red Mage is. It's just too many styles that Red Mage is here. Say, they are very close even here. These 3 units, any of them will work for the content they were designed for. Hence why I don't see any being much superior in order to move to Triple S as a buff breaker. Of course, Rouge has a secondary role as a BP battery, and that could be a thing to move him up. But I still don't think that this BP battery thing is that game changing. So hence why, oh my gosh, did you just put Queen even lower? Disappointing. But yes, I don't see much reason to use Queen. Anyone still using Queen? Rouge has too much RNG to be higher. Yes, too much RNG. If he had a 0 BP attack, then yeah, Rouge would be much better. But no, Rouge actually has damage potential closer to Chosen and Silver. I can definitely see him Triple S. You think he gets close to then? Like, Silver attacks 3 times always. Ah, your queen is Asilus. Ah, no, don't worry about the placement, Sipul. Remember that this is not left to right anymore. Remember that Silver goes with B power follow-ups. Hey, Share is donated via PayPal. Thanks for giving us quality call. Oh, Albert, thank you so much. Let me check this. Thank you so much, Albert Antonio. Antonio, but your name is Albert. So, are you from Leighton, Descendant? Thank you so much. Let me send you some virtual hugs. Capivara already sent. You know, Capivara is the first in command, right? Thanks so much, Capi, for being such a cool person as always. And thanks, Alberto, for the help. Albert Antonio. Antonio was the name of my grandfather. So you say about Rouge, right? I will see this new flux. Can you elaborate a little more? But you're not the only one asking Rouge to be Triple S. You are the 3rd one, and I have to see about this. I'm gonna leave him here. I don't think Asus needs to be on Triple S. Anyone thinks? I think I missed some virtual hugs on the stream. Oh no! Now let me also update the goal here. No, just checking. He's nowhere near Silver. Yeah, I told you. I'm gonna move him back, and if someone else believes he needs to be on Triple S, just tell me. Now, anyone else has any opinion? Look, I know that the Zildon is pretty good, but he is not as strong as what they are releasing, like Leonard and Sparrow. Those 2 characters, he really solo content, while Ildon can, but it's just very rarely. Remember I said that Alkaiser was on a only fan banner? Fans only. And that's true. I got the character. I even had to pity him, but man, he was released and then 2 weeks later we got Global X Silver just to cement the situation even more. Arikun says I miss it. Silver, I wonder when she will be back. Global X units tends to return more often, so don't worry. Anyone here from the SS tier list that needed to be moved up, I will just... let's see. Oh, Juice Mango, you are a member again. Thanks so much, my friend. Let me type here to register. You did upgrade to Lifesaver. Thank you even more. Sending some virtual hugs there. Teresa Underhill says, did you already discuss Robin Liz? I feel like she should be demoted. I never use her, even though I pitched that banner for Polka. This is something that, you know, it's such a hard thing to say, but, well, when I made a review, I said that she would be good for a while, and then she would be easily demoted. And then I got contested because she was soloing some content, and I saw that she's cool if she can counter, but I never imagined that she could survive some content by herself, but it happens. If the enemy attacks multiple times, she can survive, and she can even solo Remembrance. Not that Remembrance is that hard anymore, I guess, but there's some value in that. But I don't know. Where is she again? But when she was released, she was better than I expected, and I do have to say I was wrong. But now I think that the characters that have been released are just so strong that it's hard to justify her. She is very strong for Remembrance, but on general content, not much. Maybe assholes can move to SS Plus. I don't have Mystic. You mean the which assholes you're talking about? The Mystic? Well, she's not that far from the new year, besides the High Protect Tension. But she also buffs all her status, that's not that far. Holy, my friend Taco challenged you to do a video using only D tier styles, but do I have to win? Because you said you challenged me to use the styles. You didn't say that I should win, so I got you there. Oh man, let's check the D-tiered styles. Thank you so much, my friend. Metrarch and Polka. Now, yeah, let's manipulate this. Let's manipulate and say that now Polka is D-tier so that I can use him on the challenge. That would be crazy, my friend. Taco time. It's... Oh my god, let's just see this in another time. It's because I wanted to see if someone else made any donation to not miss. Some people do without saying, and then I only know later. No, everything's fine. So I should use another browser. Metric and Pokardi cheer. Let's go, guy. Let's go. I push for more Honeywell discussion as a level 3 member. Honeywell needed more styles, man. We got a new welfare style that's pretty strong too. Can make an argument for who? Alosis to be moved up, but I'm predicting move future farming using for his type of coverage. I have not using him because he really needs help from someone else, and I mean, Bertrand is stronger, but he can only do damage in 2 waves and ups, usually. Bertrand, Alosis is weaker. But he will always need help. He needs more help. I mean, the companion needs a stronger weapon than the companion of Bertrand. I know that because I tested both in the new story maps, and I had bigger problems with Alosis than Bertrand. I think that the enemies just have so much HP these days that, what can you say? They just can't be easily killed anymore. But that is a question. I must point Alosis here. Maybe assholes can move to SS Plus. You don't have the Mystic. I think this is a good statement. Do you guys agree that Mystic Asshole is not that far from the New Year one? Because she still buffs her status to be defensive. Her damage output is stronger, a little. Time change passwords? No, the passwords were not on the screen. There was only asterisks. Glad to see the donation, but did you have to overshadow me like that? Oh no. But also, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, change the password, I'm worried. No, is it? Do I need to? New Wave says, hey, Cher. Oh my goodness. Someone is saying that it leaked. No, it was only asterisks. It was only asterisks, guys. It didn't show anything, don't worry. I just checked myself. Do you think we're due to a new DX banner again? A need UDX Bertrand? No, I don't think they will release one so close. We will have to wait at least 1 month or more. But guys, anyone thinks about Alosis? Do you think that he is much better than the other characters here, or at least on the same levels? I think we have kind of a statement for all of his other damage dealers or supporters that are on SS Plus. I think that Alosis' time is just going. He's just not so strong anymore. Alosis' damage is bad and hard to use with his restrictions anyway. I agree with that, Zadok. I know that you don't like farmers anyway, but I also agree with that. The way we farm changed. We want big nukes. And if you need to bring a big nuke together with Alosis, then why is Alosis even there? Alosis is more useful for single target far damage nowadays, but he's good on that. You are right. But do you think he needs to be on SS Plus? Is his damage that big? And what about Mystic Castles? Anyone can agree, just so that we can move on from this subject? I didn't see asterisks. 1 second then. Oh no, it was not on the screen. I will check later on but no, it was not on the screen. I can test, I can be sure. I don't type the password. I'll keep both on SS Plus. Also push Globax Neidart to SS Plus. Neidart makes sense. I don't like him, but I guess it's just my bias here. Keep Alosis still, just for a little more. But then we get to the point where we start asking, what about Galaxy Emperor? He can kill waves. He has a good single target setup. I don't think Silver deserves, because she takes too much time to get stronger and her opener is good, but nothing too special anyway. And I have her. Alosis is alright, but he had his time. Let him rest in SS. I use Alosis with Archer and call it good. I'm a lazy farmer. You can bring them together and it will always work, right? Alosis is similar to Bertrand. Yeah, he is. But I don't know. Who does more damage these days? How many passives? I think that the thing with Bertrand is that he got a dedicated weapon. So Bertrand was kind of easier to use because of that. So Bertrand has 50% damage increase with an intelligence boost. That is super big. Even if his intelligence is 105. Now Alosis has 35, 60. 60%. Yeah, no, he's not that bad. Maybe I don't have a very strong weapon. I think he still deserves because of the passives. comparing to the current ones, but his attack is B power and it was pretty close to C power. That's what holds him. While Bertrand has an A power attack now. A power with Abaddon Hands, much higher. Pink ones is basically useless compared to buffs we can do without it. Hello, Pablo Morandis, how are you? Look, let me check again Alosis. And yeah, his power is 21. It's okay, I checked. My stream is minimized, so I didn't see. Well, sorry, I was worried about it. Okay, no worries, guys. It was just a lot of asterisks. Bertrand need global access style. I don't know if they will do for protagonists. Although they are making, yeah, they are making the Taiwan Marathon Joe. And we are getting close to that. Isn't it on the start of the month? Is not this in this maintenance even? Whoa, that would be nice. Joe, Liz, and Poco get new styles. I'm hoping for Bertrand and Barthélemy. I think they will get, but not global access. Thought it was mid-March, but don't remember. Mid? Maybe I'm wrong. So what do you guys think? What about Alosis? Everyone else agree? Also, I'm thinking about doing this on the end of the month, like the last bidder of the month. We didn't have any news, so it was perfect. We could just make the update without worrying about another banner getting in the way. So it will be easier from now on, because the problem was to keep everything up to date compared to the time I wasted. Release updates just like after 5 months. Yeah, Justin, I kind of explained why I had some issues with that because of perfectionism, my anxiety issues, and could not make a perfect tier list, but I will still do the best I can without having to, you know, make it overly complicated. I think it's still good to have, not that I believe it's so useful, but it's nice to have one. Even if just to compare the power of the units that we have access to after time passes. So now, I don't see any replies, but I will move a little more to SS. Oops, I guess it's like this. Anyone believes that, oops. Anyone from the SS grade should be moved up to SS+, so we should check now the SS+, the normal SS grades, and decide if we need to move them up. Maybe it is, I'm not entirely sure about this Boston, but man, he's the best single target counter that takes damage. But, well, again, counter units are never needed anymore. Do you believe any of those characters are better than they are? Should they start multi for entertainment, but always welcome, of course. Indeed, Xavier. That's why people make tier lists about all the best Final Fantasies tier list. Final Edition Plus. Alpha, Beta. It's fun to just discuss characters, indeed. I think discussing is something needed for the community. Especially in a game that has so many differences compared to the JP version. And it's nice to discuss characters that, well, we have so many of them. Some games you only have like 20 units, here we have so many. How many styles you guys have? I think I'm getting close to 600. Of course, accounting for S and names. So we look at all these pictures and remember using them. I mean, those that we have use it, right? Most of them we have. Oh, let me just go up a little. So tell me, guys, if you think someone needs to be higher. I was thinking about Ogniana, if someone thinks that she's better than she actually is. but I still believe she's situational. She's not a character to be used in hard challenges besides Remembrance. I think that the other characters that we have here are still good. Like, Burva and Boston are on the same tier, just like Laura. We have characters that can still farm, although not on high potential anymore, that have at least a strong opener. The characters that we have here, I see potential on them. They are not as bad as the ones that will come after that. Those you see that are not as good as the others. Where is Valentine Hilda? Hilda. I think the other Hilda is on SS minus. But I need to see. This Hilda is the damage dealer, right? The Valentine. I mean, the Valentine is stronger than the other one, no? It just doesn't have the good attack. Trying to see where she's. So many pictures that, man, even I get confused. At the end of the first row. Oh yeah, she's here. It may be a wrong statement then. What do you think? She's better than the other one, right? Even if you just use light speed. Do I move this down? Or are they on the same grade? Yeah, New Hilda is much better. Sometimes it's just that I, well, didn't see the style. Just too many things on the screen. Confuses me a little. Oops. Let me remove one of these lines. Ah, SaGa is here. Hello, SaGa. How are you? My friend enemy. Frenemy. Joking. He is the reason why this works, but we keep fighting sometimes. But New Flux said that the other Hilda is much better. Hello everyone, I'm here and the tier list is not dead. It's on rebirth. Just get work. You did? Nice. Tell them your opinions then, SaGa. I know you move it past it, but gotta get it Alosis out of SS+. Sadok says no to Alosis. Neoflux says yes to Alosis. So, what do we do? Going to eat, but I will be watching how much you messed up the tier list. How much I messed up? Oh, man. Tell me now, SaGa, what do you think about Alosis? Keep telling you, SaGa. Oh, is it seeing? Sorry I didn't respond to you when I was streaming. It didn't appear in my feed until it was too late. SaGa ignoring people? SaGa, thought you were better, man. SaGa was striking down. SaGa will just confuse me even further. If we leave it to vote, Alosis is double S. What everyone else thinks. Just type SS or SS+. Also, because it's already pretty close to midnight, we may continue tomorrow. We can keep doing this for a little more, but I mean, we can continue tomorrow because it's still the last day of February. But I'll try to keep the discussion for a little more. The more important things are the characters on the tops. Move Alosis from SS Plus to OP. Let's go. Let's move into G tier, Taco, so that we can use him. Nah, man, it's okay. I know it happens to me too. To all of us, sim. I think the highest case for Alosis is that he's not far from Bertrand. He loses to Bertrand on 2-wave damage, but he can attack 3 times. That's the thing. I don't have Alosis, so I cannot say. I have to say that my Alosis is doing 75k, while Bertrand does 90k. But again, Bertrand can only attack twice. Alosis can attack 3 times. It's not enough to kill enemies anymore. No. Sometimes if you bring Matriarch with her Gleaming Way, it's still not enough. Move Bertrand to SS. Let's not start this. They just don't want us to solo content anymore, Zadok. They don't want us to solo. Now it's all about the row farmers. Till it's not anymore. Till they make it all about the column farmers. And then back to the AoEs, and this is gacha. It's a cycle. More opinions. I can do a live stream earlier tomorrow because we may take a lot of time to finish this, and I can start earlier. SS Plus 2 looks good to me, says New Flux. It also looks cool. I did spend a lot of time looking on those pictures trying to make some sense out of this. I know that some characters needed to be moved, but mostly I didn't think it was so bad. You compare Alosis to like Greenhild. How are they in the same tier? It's more about the cycle of them, right? Greenhild is now one of the strongest turn 1 damage dealers, but also because we have her perfect weapon. You should have her perfect weapon, right, Zadok? With her perfect weapon, her damage potential was skyrocketed. Everyone had her on max. Alosis, who has a perfect weapon for Alosis? As far as JP, Sparrow is an overpower farmers. Believe in content specific, Sparrow use it on the last story in JP. You can solo. Sparrow is even better on Global Taco. They made him better here. Sane. You have Remember Spear and Alosis is still bad. You do? Hence why I placed Alosis on SS before. It was not doing good damage to me. Oh. Getting a little sleepy. It's midnight. Like I said, we can do this tomorrow. Keep going until we check more feedback. This temporary tier list is on the live stream, so you can check. Then later we fix it with SaGa. I'm not seeing many feedback now. Maybe it's better to stop a little and then see if anyone has something to say tomorrow. Those will be the most interesting things, because I believe on S and below, you'll hardly find useful styles. On the C, D, and B tier, I'm even thinking about moving more B to C and see what we can do, but I think we can do this tomorrow. What do you guys think? Starting a little earlier. Come by, thanks. I'll check Discord as well to see if there's more feedback. Running away from me again. Oh no, man, it's just the timing. It's midnight. Wife is already sleeping and I don't know why I'm sleepy. Dr. Nuzakan, do you use him for single target pierce fire? He's being very good to me. Oh yeah, New Flux, I guess that I used him on events and also on story. He worked it, although I needed a very busted spear. But you're right, we have to remember the single target potential of him still being relevant. It's still relevant, even through the AoE potential has been debated. I guess if we just say the single target, yeah, triple S. And even more about the heat. He soloed on one stage on story. I mean, I don't know if it was this story update or the past one. Oh no, this is story update. I made a video where he solos. He and Bertrand. The same stage. Yup. So I'll leave him here for now. And also Copy said about moving Dr. Nuzakan up. Dr. Nuzakan, I saw him. Where? Why is Kelvin on S? I think he should be moved to A. It's terrible. Where is Dr. Nuzakan? If I can find him on this plethora of pictures. There's just so many. Cannot see the Bergen family. You see when we get to the B letter. Ah. Doctor, where is the doctor? Top of SS minus. Here. So you think he deserves SS, right? Right beside the, this guy, I always forget his name. I don't know his name. Forgot. Kevin. No, Kevin is the other. Sielmer. So, guys, I'll be leaving, and tomorrow I'll try to stream earlier. Like, after my lunch, maybe 2 hours after my lunch. I will announce on Discord. So if you're not on Discord yet, please join our Discord server. We have plenty of amazing people. We are getting close to 1,000 members on Discord. When we get to 1,000 members, I will add plenty of emojis and do something nice. Thank you so much for being with me here today. And once again, thanks for everyone. If you can click the like button, it will certainly help getting more notifications sent and build up on more numbers. So good night, good morning, good evening. I don't know where you live, but it has been a pleasure. I hope to see you all soon in the next video or the next live stream. Good night, Taco. Good night, Ascendant. Good night, Usmango. Good night, Tepuin Double G. Good night, Sin. Good night, Nameless. Good night, Capivara. Good night, Solid Snake. Good night, SerGa. Good night, NeoFlux. Good night, Zedok. And yes, just like SerGa said, the tier list is no longer categorized from left to right because it was just too hard to make something comprehensive after so many styles have been released. Bye, Albert Antonio, and thank you for the help again. Thank you, Taco. Thank you, NeoFlux. Thank you, Finch Tile. Thank you, Ascendant. Thank you, everyone, for being nice. Bye, Christian.